are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Well, hello world. This is Lifestyle Buzz with your friend Orlando here, and with me today is Eva Campbell Morales, all the way from the beautiful state of Texas. Hello, Eva.
Hello. How are you?
Very fine, very fine. Tell me, I've been meaning to ask you: is all the water problems gone from Texas?
You mean the flooding?
Yes.
Yeah, well, Texas is a really big state, so it might be gone in one area and remain in another. But in my area, yeah, it's calmed down significantly.
Very cool, very cool. Speaking of floods, my Facebook has been going crazy with the news today, and we're going to get to that in a second. But first and foremost, I want to say to all my people that are listening that yesterday was a wonderful day for me, personally. Being 4th of July is a holiday that I love. I love to celebrate it. I love the pageantry of it. I love to put flags around my house and little banners and, of course, barbecue with family and friends. And it was just terrific. I also had a fantastic chat with a very, very nice group of people. And they are a bunch of homeless that are on a main drag right near where I live. They are right there on the street in tents and stuff like that. And people look over there and they see these things, these people, and the tents and all these items. And they frown and they look ugly at them and whatnot. I just got out of my car and I started chatting with them for a little bit and found out that, in many cases, I felt ashamed for the fact that I, too, at one point would drive by and look at this thing with distaste and whatnot. But I have to tell you one thing. In speaking with a girl by the name of Brooke, and I cannot give you her last name, she's a very insightful person, very honest in the way she expresses herself. And you could tell that this is a person that just had a turn of bad luck. But worst of all, it's a person that is losing hope because in this immense country of ours, beautiful land, a lot of richness, a lot of beautiful things to look at and see and share, we don't have enough to help these people. Worst of all, they are a block away from a Social Security office. And one of the things that hurts them the most is that they don't qualify for any sort of government assistance. But yet, they are right in front of the parking lot where they see a lot of people, and many are illegal status people. They go in there and come back with benefits to help them put food on their table. And these people on the street cannot even approach these friggin' offices to use the bathroom. In my America, your America, this is shameful. Eva, have you ever run across something like that?
Well, yes, on a very personal level. It's a very complex issue, and, Jesus said the poor will always be with us. I have had firsthand experience with trying to help people who are homeless. And now there are two very different things you're talking about here. One of them is the U.S. resident, legal citizen who is homeless, and the other is the illegal immigrant coming and taking advantage of services that should absolutely, by all rational observation, should be there to help U.S. citizens. Okay, so starting with the homeless, though, with the U.S. homeless, one of the things that I have run across is I ask, when I pray, I ask for guidance. I ask, to know what my place is and what it is I'm supposed to be doing, because I know that, yes, I'm here to provide for my son and my family, but I'm also here to help other people. How can I help?
Right.
I've run into situations 3 times with people who have been homeless, and I have taken, in 2 cases, individuals, in 1 case, an entire family, into my home to try to help them. And they have stayed anywhere from a year, 9 months to a year. The family did fall on hard times. The gentleman was a hardworking man. He had 4 children and a wife, and the job market changed. And until he was able to wrap his head around the idea that he had to take a job that might pay less than he thought he was worth,
Right.
until he got his head there, he remained unemployed and homeless, and his family was here. Now, that's one problem that exists. The other 2 people, if you talk to them, they will tell you their story, and they will tell you that they fell on hard times, and they lost their house, and they lost their apartment, and they lost jobs. They were each here for 1 year and at different times. And during the time that they were here, I discovered that they had a difficult, ¿cómo se dice? Just a devastating, destructive drinking problem.
Right.
And these are people who both of them had were relatively uneducated, and both of them had a drinking problem that wasn't visible all the time. They would go for weeks, sometimes a couple of months without a drink. But when they drank themselves into oblivion. And what I saw was a habit or a cycle of losing jobs again and again and again because of the drinking, or becoming violent because of the drinking. So when I look at the homeless, Orlando, I know that we're dealing with mental health issues.
Right.
We are dealing with some people who just had a run of bad luck and unfortunately are unable to get, because of all the red tape in these public assistance programs, unable to get help. Like the family who was out of work could not get help unless the wife said that her husband had abandoned her.
Right.
That was, so you can't be a family trying to get back on your feet and get help. The man has to abandon the mother and the children, and unfortunately. So it's a very complex problem. It's never, I think, as easy or as simple as it looks on the surface. But people who are homeless for months and years on end have an underlying issue a lot of times, whether it's mental health or drugs or alcohol or simply behavioral issues that put them out of work consistently. I saw that.
Well,
and we do what we can, but our government is not set up to help those people.
Yeah, but here's my situation, and I have to tell you one thing, that yes, we elect people that enact laws that make no sense whatsoever. None. To give you a little example, years and years ago, we were in the process of refinancing our home, and to bring the payments down some, it was a modification. We put all the paper through, we did everything they asked us to, but in order to qualify for the fast track, the bank itself came over and they go, you don't qualify because you're not delinquent. And I'm going like, okay, it doesn't make sense, but so what do I have to do? You need to be delinquent. And then you need to be delinquent enough to where the bank starts pushing for you to, do something about this. Then they came back and they go, just being delinquent is not enough. Have you thought about filing for bankruptcy? And I'm going like, I don't need to file for bankruptcy. Why should I? I mean, I was paying my mortgage. It's just that it was very high, and I wanted to bring it down some. Well, see, that will actually help the whole works and everything else. Like a big moron, I paid attention to what they were telling me. I
Right.
filed in order to qualify. Then they come back and they said, everything is fine. Your papers are going through. We expect that because of the workload, we expect a determination in 6 weeks. But you're okay. Everything is fine. Your paperwork is fine. This happened on a Wednesday. On a Monday, we get served by the sheriff that the bank is auctioning the house. And I'm like, huh? It's a bank that I never even heard of. You know,
Right,
it was Deutsche
right.
Bank. And, you know, I couldn't understand what the heck was going on. Anyway, we fought it and
Right.
fought it and fought it. And then, you know, eventually I go, okay, I can't have a heart attack over this. Let them keep the house. I don't care anymore. You know, I had taken some
Yeah.
money out of the deal. And you know what? I mean, it was like, you know, just let it go, have some peace of mind, move along. And we ended up in a house right now with a beautiful view up in the top of a mountain. And, you know, so up to a point, it was an improvement for us. But at the same time, it's also something that you don't really want to live with, you know? These people also
now
are
you're-
in the same situation. There are so many laws
Yeah.
and this hopelessness because nobody really has any direction of which way to go anymore. I mean,
The situation that you just described is exactly the same as the family who ended up homeless that was here.
yes,
And they were told same thing. They wanted to lower their payments. They were told they had to be delinquent. Then they were told to file for bankruptcy. Then the bank repossessed the house and put them out on the street.
yeah,
And during this process, you know, the job market changed, and this man didn't have a job. Then he had no place for his family. But no, you're absolutely right. There are people who get caught in this
it's like a vortex,
this
the
whirlpool.
bad news
You know,
vortex.
this whirlpool. Oh my gosh.
Well,
That's
you know,
horrible.
that's actually one of the reasons why yesterday when I was speaking with these people, I felt a certain, not a connection per se, because, you know, I hope not that I don't become homeless or whatever. But the fact is that the system is rigged against people who do things the right way. Am I off track
True.
there? Oh.
No, you're absolutely right, and that is, you know, I right now with the election going on and everything, you know, I see people on both sides of the aisle who are so fed up with the government system, and not, you know, you'll hear, for example, conservatives railing against the government.
Right.
You'll hear liberals railing against Wall Street and big business, but guess what? They are one and the same. They are so in bed with each other.
Oh, yeah.
And that is why the laws favor big business and banks, and the little guy, people like you and I, who do things right, who follow the rules, who follow the law, we get steamrolled. And
Right.
it's absolutely, I'm at the point where I don't believe that we can, unless there's a huge uprising on both sides of the political spectrum, to say, okay, you guys, you're all out.
I know.
You're all out. I just don't believe that this can be fixed with one election.
Sometimes I wish that somebody would come over with a huge broom and just sweep everybody away. Topic of this month, Latinos in America. You and I are from a Latino background.
Right.
I was born in Costa Rica. Your background is from Mexico. But we see things a little bit different. I came over here in 1958, and my dad was very big on the fact that we needed to integrate into the system that we call home now. We're hanging our hat here. This is what we need to respect. We need to know. And you know what? He taught us that we needed to learn about people's rights here in America, but not to take advantage of, is what
Right.
guided us as newcomers. A lot of our people from Latin America come in today, And right off the bat, they don't come to integrate, but they come to absorb the benefits, not the culture, just the benefits. How do you feel about that? And if you had to talk to a group of Latinos, what would you say?
Oh my gosh. I've been thinking about this the last couple of days because I've seen it. Well, okay. First of all, my mother's from Mexico, from Guadalajara. Excuse me. And she, my dad's American. He's from Illinois. And my mom, they met in Mexico and got married. And my mom moved to the United States and became a legal resident. And after a while, she realized that if she was going to be unhappy with things, anything the way it was in the United States, the only way she was going to be able to affect any change or that her voice would be heard would be to vote. So she became then a citizen. Mm-hmm. My mother is one of the most patriotic people you'll meet. Now, this is what I've seen because I really straddle the fence. I have 1 foot in American culture and 1 foot in Mexican culture, and right. I have very dear, beloved friends and family on the illegal immigrant side of the equation, right. And I have very dear friends and family on the legal immigrant side of the equation. And what I see consistently is that those who enter the country legally go through the waiting process, go through all the red tape, go through all the fees, go through the testing, go through the background checks, go through everything that is required to enter the country legally and do it right. Do not approve, do not support open borders and open immigration. I have friends and family who have come over. You know, you were talking about how people end up homeless. Same thing the way they come into the United States, whether it's a plan to come and stay and work and send money home, or I have a girlfriend who came over on a visa and brought her daughter, and then her daughter wouldn't go home. And she was a minor, and she couldn't leave her daughter. She couldn't make her daughter go home. So then you have 2 people here on expired visas, and they have now sought out their citizenship. And then you have people who are absolutely shameless. And right. I have sat in the middle of conversations, Orlando, where Central American, in Los Angeles, listening to a couple of Central American women laughing and talking and boasting about how they're in the country illegally, how they game the system,
yes, how
they get free medical care,
yes,
and it's disheartening, and it makes me angry because I have a cousin who was in the country illegally, and we had our babies at the same time. While she was getting free medical, free milk, free baby food, free
Pampers,
medical care for everything for
Pampers,
her babies,
yeah,
I was struggling to pay for mine.
Yes, yeah. Let's take a little break, and we'll hold that thought right there, please, Eva, because it's very interesting. We'll be back in a couple of seconds, okay?
Okay.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
I'm Janet Richmond, and my show, The Higher Self Voice, is on T Radio V live. For a guest using a soul scan technique that uncovers and dissolves the energetic causes of the problem. I also show you how to do it for yourself. It is a powerful healing show and one that you can't afford to miss. Please join me.
LA Street Angel. Hi, this is Madeline Reese, the LA Street Angel, and I have my talk show here in the middle of Hollywood. So come hang out with me, learn some awesome new cool spiritual stuff. And it's every Thursday, 1 o'clock Pacific time, tradiov.com.
LA Street Angel, called to heal these streets.
I'm Laura Samoza,
I'm Sterling Gardner.
and we are Between the Sheets every Monday here, 3 p.m., tradiov.com.
T Radio V.
That's right, it's T Radio V, Radio in TV. What is that face?
She wants to see our hands.
That's Radio in TV. Wah, 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 wah.
We're not a couple.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
And we are back with Lifestyle Buzz and with my guest Eva Campbell Morales. Eva, you had a thought, and I had to interrupt you with the commercials. Let's hear it.
Oh, yeah. With the election coming up, and with all of the half-truths floating around out there, and all the demonization of Donald Trump going on right now, something occurred to me, and I've been aware of this for a long, long time. I want Latinos out there. Of course, if Latinos are legal immigrants and support legal immigration, that's one thing. But there are a lot of Latinos out there that support illegal immigration, open borders. And
Right.
they're the ones I want to listen to me right now, because this is really important. Democrats have had control of the House and the Senate and the presidency at different points in time. And they have Democrats have always tried to appeal to minorities, blacks and Latinos, saying, we'll help you, we'll help you, we'll help you.
Where's the
When
help?
they have had control of all of the branches of government, they haven't done a thing.
So
Not
true.
one Latinos to understand that they are political pawns right now. The government, the Democrats want the support of voting Latinos to support them for open borders and whatnot. But you know what they're never going to do, because it gives them political power? They are never going to pass meaningful immigration reform.
They're never going to fix anything. They haven't fixed
They're not
anything.
going to fix anything, because as long as Latinos or African Americans are needing more and looking to the government for a solution, they're going to continue to vote supposedly for the party that says we're on your side, which is the Democrats. Whereas if we get a majority in Congress and Senate, and specifically Trump. Now, I don't agree with everything that Trump does and says.
Right.
But you get Trump in there, and one thing he has said, we are going to make sure that people coming into the country do it right. He is going to ensure that laws get passed, that immigration gets streamlined. He knows that he can't, como se dice, deport millions and millions
He's not
of
going to
people.
move millions.
But he can get
Yeah.
he can get people on the path to get things done, so that if they want to be legal residents or citizens, they can eventually do that.
Here's the part that I don't understand about my people, our people, okay? For years and years and years, the Latino male, the Latino female, it doesn't matter. There's no gender. Everybody wanted to make progress. Everybody wanted to be independent. Everybody wanted a little piece of land. Everybody wanted a good job. People, they knew that if they wanted a nice car, they had to work for it. Now, where did the Latino mentality change to the point that we are now just, I hate to put it this way, but we are out there palms up waiting for something meaningful to fall.
Right.
right into
Right.
our laps without having to bother ourselves too much. And that's a philosophy that, you know what? I didn't grow up with it. I never saw it around my parents. I never saw it around my grandparents. I never saw it across people that came here, let's say up into the 70s type of a thing. All of a sudden, everybody comes in here from Latin America with some sort of a crooked angle to
Right.
get everything for free, you know, and all of a sudden there's
But
that
Orlando,
expectancy.
It's not something that started with the Latino community.
No.
Okay, if you listen to a Mexican politician, his stump speech is going to be, "We are going to make things better for you." Here's the thing: it used to be that Latinos who came over knew that they couldn't get what they needed and what they were capable of earning
Right.
in Mexico, and they would come over here because the U.S. had the American dream. You work hard, you get more, you improve your life. What happened was that American politics discovered, as the Latino population grew, they discovered that voting bloc, and they started to appeal to Latinos by saying, "We will give you this, we will give you that." And what started happening was that there's an expression in Spanish in Mexico. I don't know if it's the same in English, where you're from. ¿A quién le dan pan que llore? To whom would you offer free bread that they would cry about it, that they would complain?
The same
So
thing
in
as
other words,
the squeaky wheel thing,
when the
you know.
politician, I'm sorry?
It's like the squeaky wheel thing. The squeaky wheel gets the grease type of a thing.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if American politicians are saying to the Latino community, "Oh, you can't do this for yourself. We'll give you these benefits and those benefits," well, of course people are going to say, "Come on over, tia,
Right.
come on over, cousin, come on over, primo," and you can get free stuff in the United States. And so then that mentality keeps Latinos trapped in this modern slavery called the welfare system.
Well, you know what is really,
And the
I'm glad you said that.
entitlement system.
The entitlement issue. Here, you hear a lot from our black brothers and sisters. Whitey created, you know, the slavery, and you owe me this, and you owe me that, and all that nonsense. Yet, here comes Obama, and buys them with free telephones, buys them with
Right.
free welfare, buys them with these goodies. And in essence, what he's doing is he's putting a fence around their society to the point
Right.
that they are now dependent. So, my opinion, and I have a huge amount of black friends, and they know that I feel like this very strong because it offends me up to a point. Obama is sending them back to the plantation.
Right.
And yet, they get offended with Trump, call him a racist, call him whatever. With what basis? I don't hear it. I don't see the actual argument there. But the
Right.
fact is that for one reason or another, they don't like the guy. So it's easy to say racism. It's easy to say homophobia. It's easy to say anti-women. It's easy to say all that baloney that doesn't really fit the argument. But the
Right.
fact is that, you know what? They are yelling the loudest and they are being the most obnoxious and all of that, and nobody's saying boo. Now, I have a lot of friends on Facebook that are, and like you've seen the comments. Everybody's ticked off about one thing or another. Now they're beginning to get more vocal. And now
Right.
I begin to applaud them because now they're getting off the pot and make some kind of a move. But we need that to
Yeah.
be more of a development in our society because you know what? What I saw today made me sick. One of the most respected organizations in the U.S., the FBI, people used to have pride when they said, our FBI is behind us, our FBI will take care of things. You know what? I saw the crumbling of the FBI right on national television to the point that it became a joke in a matter of instance, in a matter of seconds. Am I the only one that believes that? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, in all honesty, I have not seen what the FBI said.
Okay.
So this happened today. There was I'm seeing that there was a press conference. What did they say?
Well,
'Cause I don't know that, with the holiday and everything, that everybody is aware of that. Certainly with the holiday, I haven't been.
Well, James Comey, the head of the FBI, came on to national television and disclosed the findings of this investigation. He found that Hillary Clinton was totally devoid of devoid of responsibility, was totally irresponsible as to how she handled this email scandal. They found that, yes, top secret items went public. They found a lot of disregard for security, which is punishable by law. Yet, he said that all of this, he was not going to recommend any sort of prosecution for the simple reason that no lawyer would actually take the case. And I'm going like,
you're kidding.
What is this fool talking about? When a judge admonishes the jury on how to think of a case that has to do with secrets and that sort of stuff, he quotes the same paragraph of law that a judge would use in a case. He quoted that, that was his determination. She is guilty. He found out that she was irresponsible. She is guilty of not securing what's supposed to be. But yet he feels that no lawyer will probably take the case. So he's not going to recommend any sort of legal action against Hillary. And I'm going
You're
like,
kidding.
no. You know what?
See, I didn't see that today. That is sickening. I mean, that turns my stomach. So in other words, okay, if any one of your listeners committed a crime on that level of that type, they would certainly be prosecuted. But because it's Hillary, they're not going to prosecute because he's making the assumption. He's making the assumption. He's not giving the case the opportunity to be tried and for justice to be carried out. He's ignoring due process because it's Hillary, and he's assuming that no lawyer will take the case.
That's right. That's right. I'm looking at this, I'm listening to this, and I'm going like, how far does the reach of Bill Clinton goes?
Oh, yeah.
When he goes into a private plane for 30 minutes with this guy's boss up to a point. Loretta Lynch is James Comey's boss. He goes in there, and all of a sudden, yeah, she did it wrong. Yeah, she could have done it better. Yeah, she broke the law. Yeah, all these emails were not secure. Yeah, there's probably going to be other people who saw them, who read them, who are using them. But let's just look the other way. What? I was shocked. I was so shocked that...
It's sickening. What essentially has happened is that our Constitution is been invalidated by that action. And our rights as citizens have been invalidated. I'm wondering if there are any listeners out there who are leaning toward Hillary at this point with all of the things and all of the scandals. I don't understand how someone could, but let's say somebody does still believe that, all of this is a right-wing conspiracy. After hearing the head of the FBI say, yes, she did indeed break the law, and these are crimes punishable by law.
Right.
But we're not going to prosecute. How can anyone on the left look at that level of government corruption and say, I still want to vote for that person, even though they are so corrupt that they have shredded the fabric of the American judicial system?
You know what? Under those circumstances, to be very honest, I am so ashamed of maybe staying silent for way too long. And you know what? I have to tell you, Lifestyle Buzz is not a political show. I've never made any overtures about it being a political show. It's entertainment. We try to bring things that help people and everything else. But I have to tell you one thing. If I'm over here talking to, like, my past guest, Janine Elias, a wonderful person that has a lot of insight on helping people make progress, make headway. I have, but in the few shows that we have here, we've had some people that really bring a lot of good stuff to the forefront to help people. How can I possibly really be sitting on the sidelines without saying anything political when our government is tearing that type of show pattern, is tearing it to pieces? Because basically it's telling me, it's telling me
I would be just as opposed if it were a Republican doing that. When I have seen news articles about Republicans who commit ethics violations or who are caught with sometimes literally their pants down, I'll speak out against that as well. You know, I'm a nonpartisan when it comes to corruption. I see corruption. I want it wiped out. It has no place in our government. I mean, we become a third world country the moment that happens. And I think that today our government has crumbled. You know, our judicial system has no strength, no teeth.
No.
And to prosecute now a common citizen is a joke.
Well, you know what? A while ago, General Petraeus, a highly decorated soldier, a highly decorated person that put his life on the line, who knows for how many years, in battle zones. He did something silly by showing some papers to his then girlfriend. And President Obama made sure that he made mincemeat of the reputation of General Petraeus, to the point that the man ruined the general because he broke the law, this and that and the other. Today, the FBI says, well, we're going to look the other way. And what happens with Obama? He takes Hillary on Air Force One on a campaign trip. When is our citizens' jet for the use of private citizens to go campaign? I mean, how dirtier can our government get? How much filth can there be left in Washington, for God's sakes? I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's filthy. It's shameful.
I would be very interested where do people comment for your show? Is it on the website, or do you have a Facebook page where people comment on your show? Because I would be very interested to hear what Democrats and liberals have to say about this. Do they recognize how insidious and how dangerous and how destructive this is, or do they support the system regardless of how corrupt it is? Because anything that can happen, any corruption that can occur on the left can occur on the right. And of course, if it were on the right, they would be up in arms. My question is, how does the average progressive or Democrat react to this news today? Where do your listeners comment?
Well, they can comment on Facebook, and the fact is that every time after the show, I download it and I post it on Facebook. It's also going to be on YouTube. I'll send you the information. At this moment, somebody's actually working on my Facebook page for Lifestyle Buzz. So it'll be up, I would say, in about a week or so. But in the meantime, we can do it through my Facebook, and you have all the information. I'll post the show right there. People can look at it. They can see the entire thing.
I think that would be really interesting to see what progressives and Democrats have to say about this, because It's destructive, and essentially anyone who commits a crime now in the United States, you can see absolutely that the law will not be equally applied. Justice in this country is no longer blind.
No. You know what? It's almost like an auction, I guess, in a very weird way. If you have the juice with the connections in Washington, you get a pass. If you don't, you do heavy-duty time.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, not long ago, Wesley Snipes was the delinquent on a certain amount of taxes, put in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Rangel, congressman,
Right.
New York, owes a ton in taxes, gets a pass. Al Sharpton gets invited to the White House to spend the night there when he owes $3.5 million worth of taxes, gets a pass.
Right.
I mean, and it's not because these people are black or anything. No. There's a lot of whites also that are corrupt, but they're heavy donors. They get a pass. So what used to be the light on the hill about Washington, the start that everybody went after, to grow independent,
Right.
to grow strong, has really dimmed out and, for all practical purposes, shut down. Because you know what? Now is whose ass you kiss the most that
Right.
gets you what you want. In other words, many years ago, I started posting on my Facebook, Banana Republic North. That was the title that I used to put to make commentaries about things political. Banana Republic North. Some people used to they send me things saying, "Oh my God, just because you're a Latino," and people used to, really get angry about it. Let me tell you something. It came true. Sadly enough, my joke came true. The U.S.
Right.
today
Yeah.
is no different than one of the lowest quality banana republics out there.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
we
shameful.
we have become a third world country.
Yes.
Our judicial system has become a joke. Our government has become a joke, and it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. The world is looking at us, shaking their head. Some are laughing. Putin's laughing. I guarantee it.
I mean,
Putin's laughing.
seriously, like right now when something happens abroad and right away it's announced, well, the FBI is going to investigate this. People over there already are putting money in some kind of a bag, and they're going to go, yeah, when the FBI guy comes around, give him this, and then he'll go back home and report that everything is cool here. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
we have come down to that. It's shameful. It's shameful again. And I apologize for people who listen to Lifestyle Buzz because they know for a fact that we are more entertaining. But this has to be said, and it is entertainment up to a point. It's something for you guys to entertain out there and think about it, that this is where we hang our hat. This is our country. We cannot allow for it to become disposed of in this manner, okay? So I need for
Right.
all of the people who are listening to the show, all of the people that listen to Eva on Facebook, and all the people, we need to rally around this and say no more. Like that movie with
Yeah.
Peter Finch, I'm not going to take this anymore. Me,
What
no, I'm not going to take it anymore.
what kind of power do you think that it took to get this level of corruption and to get the FBI, this very principled man, the head of the FBI, to say, we're not going to pursue it? What level of corruption, what level of blackmail or threat or money do you think it took?
You know what?
Because,
I would have loved.
regardless of your political view, it could happen on either side.
Oh yeah. No, this is no good for either one of the parties. This cannot be
Right.
allowed because you know what? regardless of Democrat or Republican, we are primarily American. And whatever happens, it affects all of us. And you know what? It all depends. Do people really understand the issues? I don't think so. I was looking at a show yesterday where they were interviewing some people on the beach, and they asked certain questions about history of the United States. And I have to tell you one thing. These are college kids out on the beach having a good time. And they asked, what school do you go to? Well, USC. They couldn't figure out who we fought in the Korean War. I'm not kidding.
Right.
They asked, who did we fight
I
in the
know.
Korean War? They asked this young girl, when was the War of 1812? And she couldn't answer. And I'm like,
Yeah.
unbelievable. I mean, like, I was totally dumbfounded. I thought it was a joke until I realized that those are the future
on the
voters
same-
of our country.
Yes. Oh, they are. They're the future of the country. And the same show, would asked two different African Americans, what was the Civil War fought
Oh,
over?
you saw it. You saw the segment then.
Neither one of them.
I know.
Neither one of them could say slavery. They did not know.
Yeah.
They had no clue.
Yeah, people don't know. People live the moment today, and what happens is that one of the things that I've been groaning and moaning about is that if they want to find information right away, they Google it because
Right.
they don't know. They don't know. Without a Google phone, without a pad, without all these toys, people today are just not prepared for anything, and that's a sad thing because I don't mind technology. I mean, I use it all the time. But I also make a point of knowing the facts and learning the
Right.
issues and knowing that if my phone is in the car, I can still have a very substantial conversation with anybody regarding the issues
Right.
that plague us today. So anyway,
Yeah.
we have run out of time. Eva, give us your contact information, please.
Oh, you can find me at EvaCampbellMorales.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Eva Campbell Morales. And I have a few personal opinions posted there.
All right, we're going to be checking them out.
I post for respectful and thoughtful debate.
That's good. We're going to be checking them out, and I'll be in contact with you very, very soon. We have to do this one more time. And, hey, you have been a lot of fun. You have been great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on. And this is really a huge development. I hope that people genuinely look into it and demand answers, either side of the aisle.
Very cool. And for any comments on my behalf, please, coolorly@gmail.com, coolorly@gmail.com. And if you want any travel information, starting next week, we're going to start promoting my travel company, and it's going to be for your benefit. So if anything you need for travel, Silver Fox Expeditions @gmail.com, or you can go to www.silverfoxexpeditions.com. Okay? So until next week, God bless. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Hasta luego. Bye-bye.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio and TV.